Good evening. You're watching the late news on HKIBC. I'm Raymond Yeung. Here are tonight's top stories. Democratic camp calls decision to bar Lau Siu-lai from electrical by-election shameful. Government says Lantau reclamation plan expanded by 70% to build land reserve. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe to visit China for the first time in office. Democratic activist Lau Siu-lai has been barred from running in the electrical by-election next month. The former lawmaker called the decision a shameful screening of candidates, but the government said her political stance had violated the basic law. Shame on political screening, chanted Lau Siu-lai and about a dozen of her supporters as they held an impromptu rally outside the Legislative Council this evening. The Democratic hopeful for the electrical by-election next month had just learned this evening that her nomination had been ruled invalid. In a 7-page reasoning, the Electoral Affairs Commission explained why Lau was denied from running for the very seat she lost 2 years ago. Citing a report by One Way Poll, the returning officer noted Lau had said back in July 2016 that independence could be an option for Hong Kong. Together with Lau's oath-taking behavior and a Facebook post later that year, the officer questioned Lau's present intent to uphold the basic law, which is a requirement for any lawmaker upon taking office. In conclusion, the officer declared that Lau's political stance had remained consistent. That is, independence is an option for Hong Kongers to decide their future. Lau had also no intention to accept Beijing's authority over Hong Kong, the officer said. Lau said she was never approached by the officer to seek clarification against a court ruling that applicants must be given an opportunity to address concerns. She said she will need to decide with her campaign team whether to launch an appeal. In the meantime, she will rally behind Lee Cheuk-yan, the Labour Party chairman who signed up for the election as a backup plan this morning.
It's a very unfair election, everyone knows. Someone asked me, so unfair, why should you participate? Yeah, it's so unfair. But how do we make it fair? It's not by dropping out. It's by really getting the seat back and fight it in the system to get fairness back. It's not my battle. It's a battle of people of Hong Kong for fairness.
The by-election was triggered after Lau was disqualified by the court for taking her oath improperly when she swore in as lawmaker in 2016. Former political assistant Chan Ho-yan, who is backed by the pro-establishment camp, and independent candidate Frederick Fung are also bidding for the Kowloon West constituency seat vacated by Lau. With Lau out of the way, it means the by-election could now be a 3-horse race. The government said it expanded a reclamation plan near Lantau Island by 70% after consultants proposed creating a land reserve instead of just meeting the needs. Development Minister Michael Wong also rejected claims of a last-minute change, saying the new plan was more than confidential and could not be reviewed any earlier. Yeung reports.
Until Wednesday, the government has presented to the public a 1,000-hectare East Lantau Metropolis reclamation plan to solve land shortage. But in Chief Executive Carrie Lam's policy address, the project has been renamed to Lantau Tomorrow Vision and now covers 1,700 hectares. Lam said yesterday she could not remember when exactly she was advised to alter the plan. It was Development Secretary Michael Wong's turn today to answer the same question. Wong explained the original proposal floated in a consultation by the Task Force on Land Supply was based on the 2030-plus development blueprint, which could no longer adequately reflect the city's housing needs.
If you look at the estimate of 1,200 hectares of shortage, that was in 2030 plus. Now, the task force made the observation back then that it might be grossly inadequate for the reason that 2030 plus was based on the